Hi, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Brianna, and I'm so excited to share with you in today's video a Decorating with Christmas series with me. This will be part 1 and 3 that I'm going to share with you on how I decorate my home. So at the beginning of every season, I love to see what's kind of trending for that year and just pick a few things to incorporate. So I love to get all those ideas together and then create a mood board on Pinterest before I start. After so many years of non-traditional colors like neutrals being on trend for Christmas, I love that they're bringing it back to reds and greens and bows and plaids. It reminds me of my childhood Christmas in the 90s, as well as so many of the beautiful scenes in the Home Alone movies. I also love the look of greenery everywhere, whether that be trees, garlands, wreaths, both inside and out of your home. So I think in order for everything to look cohesive, I like to begin with a color palette. So I'm going to keep some of my neutrals, but then add in some deep greens and muted reds, as well as sprinkling in some silver and gold. Because trends come and go so quickly, I think it's really important not to just waste all your money on updating your decor every single year, but maybe just picking a few things to add in. And a lot of times that can even be with items you've thrifted or found along the way or created to get the look you wanted. And that's exactly what I did in this video series I'm sharing with you, but if there was anything that I did purchase that was new, I'll put the link in the description below. But without further ado, let's get started.
We got our first snow already, so we decided it was okay to put up our Christmas tree. This was the spot where we normally put our 9-foot tree. I wanted to update our tree this year because the one we had was fine, but it was a garage sale find from years ago and I wanted a more realistic one, not this pine one. So I shopped around on Facebook Marketplace and I found this Jackson fir tree. It had only been used for 2 seasons and it was still for sale on the Home Depot website. I love the realistic looking branches and the fact that it had a remote too. I also like the fact that it had LED lights. The kids of course liked the multi-light feature, but I'm not sure we'll be using that. I was impressed with how well the previous owner had packaged up this tree. She left caps on the ends and labeled everything. I would love to attain to that level of perfectionism, but everything just goes into a tree bag at the end of the year. It was so easy to put together. You just pop them in together. It's like a pop and click thing, and as soon as you pop it in, the lights come on, which is super nice. I set the tree up the night before so all the kids can be involved. They get so excited when they see the big tree come out. It kicks off the holiday season. Everyone gets so excited. And I listed my old tree for sale on Facebook, and in just a few days it sold, so it was great to be able to offset the cost of the new one. A few tips. The more you can fluff, the better. Usually there's different branches in the back that you can spread to hide the trunk, and then in the front you want to take the main branches and spread them out and separate any adjoining branches and fluff it out like a star to fill out as many gaps as possible. Nothing brings back my childhood Christmas memories more than beaded garlands. I had bright red ones growing up. I loved these muted red ones, plus they were a steal at my local surplus store. In hanging garlands, you want to make sure that the loops are opposite of each other, so you want the point of the middle loop in the middle of the next one. It just kind of looks a little bit better that way. Next, I added tree picks. Not only do they look pretty, but they help disguise any bare spots I might have missed. I like to do them one at a time to make sure they're evenly spaced out. When shopping for tree picks, it's nice to have ones with wire in them. That way you can bend them out and get them to lay exactly the way you want to. And then I try to make the pine cones look as natural as possible, lying them on the branches as if they were growing on the tree branches. As I decorate, I like to take a step back and make sure everything is well balanced and spaced out evenly before I move on. For the ornaments, I like to divide them up and put them on one at a time. That way I can make sure that each of them are spaced out evenly. You don't have similar ones next to each other. Juliet was super excited to help. She took instructions so well and made sure and put the ornaments on exactly where I told her. Next, I wanted to add some bows, so I bought several varieties of ribbon. I decided on a simple dark chiffon red one. I used velvet ribbon last year and it was such a pain to make bows out of. I love the drapiness of this chiffon, plus I love seeing the light through it as well. Each year the kids take turns putting on the star, and this time it was Evie's turn. And here's what our finished tree looks like. next is decorating the mantle in the main living room. I'm so blessed to have 2 mantles in our home. The second one is in our dining room. This one already had holes in it with cup hooks when we moved in, so that's what I've always used to hang my garlands for Christmas and birthdays, and it works out really great. This mantle is massive, so I created an asymmetrical garland out of 5 different cedar garlands I got from Michael's 2 years ago. I love the fact that this just gives it a little bit more interest. But this year I wanted to add just a little bit more dimension. I found these Norfolk pine stems at the wholesale store, so I just kind of tucked them in there and spread them out until it filled in the spaces and made it look nice. I love the fact that it was a lot easier to kind of cover up and hide the branches and stems. It just made it look fuller and not nicer. In years past, I've hung fairy lights in there as well. I actually don't really care for that now because you can see the lights when they're not on, and I just feel like it doesn't look as natural, so I opted not to do that this year. A few new things I did purchase this year were decorative stockings. The kids have quilted stockings I made for them, but I wanted to have some pretty ones on display. So I bought these holders and the cream ones at Home Goods, and then the 2 green ones are from Hearth & Hand collection at Target. I wanted to make sure I liked them before I took off the tags, but I thought they looked perfect together, so we decided to keep them. And then I found these super cute initial letters that you can put on each one. Juliet wanted to put hers on herself. On the opposite corner, I hung my bells that I've had the past couple of years, and then I wanted to add some fresh ribbon. I wired 3 ribbons together to make a more layered look. I love the color of the dark green and the reds together. I found all my ribbon on Temu this year, and it works out perfectly. And here is the finished look of my mantle.
So that's it for today's video, Christmas decorating with me, part 1. In part 2, I'm going to share with you how I finished decorating the rest of the interior of the home, and I have lots of new fun ideas to share. And then in part 3, I'll be sharing how I do the exterior of the home. So tell me in the comments below if there's any ideas that you loved and maybe you're going to try. So have fun, and I'll see you next time. Bye!